Hello everyone, I see chicken cookies. Ooh, sounds very delicious. Yeah, no worries, man. No worries. Use some cookies right now. Hopefully the stream runs okay. I've been having some issues for some random reason every time. Something or the other has to happen apparently. So seems like possibly I'm dropping frames on stream. I'm not really sure how smooth it is going to be running for you guys. Hopefully quite, but I don't know. Not sure why. It's my computer or the internet. Like internet seems stable, but OBS keeps warning me that I'm dropping frames. But do let me know, or if you are watching, um, it appears choppy, can't hear me, streams dropping. You have to do some other things, but yeah, I still haven't been able to quite figure out how to stream MSFS. I guess I'm kind of monitoring my own stream on the second right now. So it's kind of okay. Yeah, might be okay. I don't know. Let's hope so. It's like when I enable the preview on Streamlabs OBS for like a stream preview window. You watch the own stream, it starts dropping frames. So it's like maybe at the threshold of the maximum, it can take right now in terms of the GPU, because my GPU again is pegged at 100% utilization. Memory's at like 92%. So yeah, it's a good times. Let me try something real quick. See if I can reduce the memory footprint by going texture. What affected more? This is. Let's try medium. See if that helps memory footprint. Went down by 2%. So it really didn't really help. Yeah, I'm not sure what's causing skip frames, but we'll see. Yes, Golf Bravo Lol, that's the aircraft we're going to be flying. It's the old Cessna 152. This is the default Cessna 152 with a bit of a twist, I guess. It is a modded from flightsim.to. There is a mod available for the Cessna 152. Mainly what it does is fixes the performance and weight and engine performance of the aircraft, as long as a few bug fixes in the cockpit, just switches that were seemingly like you can move them but didn't seem to do anything. ADF switches was one of those. The transponder switch was one of those. Dome lighting as well, you couldn't adjust that for whatever reason. A little bit of things here and there. This is what this is addressing. Also, the fuel tanks. The fuel tanks did not match. So, like, it was something to do with the fact that it modeled the aircraft flight model with the long range tank, so extra fuel capacity, but the fuel tanks that Asoba put on board were like less fuel tanks, but the fuel burn figures were for a heavier aircraft with the more fuel available in them. So they fixed that or something like that along those lines. So, frames. I'll just ignore that. Hopefully it's okay. But yeah, that's what's happening. We have that little bit of fixed aircraft. I have a custom livery running for it again. Right? Yeah, silver chromish blue kind of a livery. And we're gonna be flying using Airhauler 2 yet again. Recently just launched for Microsoft Flight Sim. So I'm gonna go back into it, get Twitch Air back going again. We are once again based at Leeds Bradford Airport, Echo Golf November Mike, where we are going to be heading to. And currently we are situated at Rectory Farm. It is a private airfield. It is unfortunately like the tool I use, Fly Live Studio, doesn't have fields like this. I just have to pick an airport nearby. That's why top of the screens you'll see it mentions Echo Golf Yankee Delta. It's the closest airfield to this place, so that's what I have input as the departure airport. But it's not technically where we are. We're just a little west of that RAF airfield that I have put as departure. So close enough, you know. We'll make do with it. Um, and I guess without further ado, before we get in the aircraft and get flying, let me just show you what I have planned in terms of what we're going to be doing today, where we're going to be flying. Well, you know where we're going to be flying, how we're going to be flying there, and then a little bit of an asterisk as to why we are, although technically going to be VFR, the weather does not at the moment, current weather in the UK, lend itself, particularly where we are flying to VFR in the strict sense. Like, to be honest, most IRL pilots would not consider this to be VFR. We'll go with special VFR. Not terrible, but it's not entirely legal in the sense that we're going to be flying lower than what the CAA, the Aviation Administration of United Kingdom, would typically allow for VFR flights. They require at the very minimum 500 feet above ground level. At some places, we have like ceilings at 700 feet. So in theory, we can still fly below it, but legally speaking, we are going to be breaking some rules as to how high up above the ground we are. So special VFR. We'll go with that. So without further ado, I guess let me share my screens with y'all. Start with. Go. Hopefully you guys can see my desktop. I have no way to see that. Again, I disabled the preview window. So, hey, nice. But hopefully, yeah, you guys can see. So here's Air Hauler 2. Back at it again. It is a $40 purchase at the moment. You previously owned Air Hauler 2. You didn't, $60. Not the greatest price in my opinion. Definitely could have done more hefty discount considering very little change to the code in terms of the way it handles MSFS versus how it handled PPD, in my opinion. Most of the calculations and whatever modeling of Air Hauler 2 runs external to Microsoft Flight Sim in any case. So all he needed to do really was to figure out how to read the Sim Connect data for the new sim. He does have to put in some work to figure out how to use the aircraft, the so-called encrypted aircraft that come with Microsoft Flight Sim. So that would be aircraft that are included in the DLCs, so to speak. Thank you for your follow. Hi, Jimmy. Hello. That would include stuff like the the premium deluxe airplanes that you can get with Flight Sim if you buy the deluxe editions, or even stuff that you buy from the marketplace, so to speak, because those files might be encrypted. They don't use the standard aircraft.cfg method to find their files. So Air Hauler 2 at the moment is not able to read those. It's part of the reason why, even though I wanted, I would have preferred to fly with my Coronado M20. I cannot right now because it only supports default aircraft that are using the aircraft.cfg method. New plane is encrypted because I bought it through the marketplace. So at the moment it cannot read it. The dev is aware, Slopey. He said he's working on it, so I don't know. At the moment it cannot, so yeah. Anyways, we're gonna be flying Twitch Air. So company information real quick. No pilots at the moment except myself. Haven't really hired. We just pretty much just started. Twitch Air reputation's about 21.5 because I did a couple of jobs just to test things out, make sure everything's working relatively smoothly. There is a jobs map, as you can see, for what we're going to be doing in our fleet. But right now we have Golf Bravo Lull, the Cessna 152 in a cargo configuration with 90% condition, because apparently every time you land at grass airfields like where we are going to be departing from today, Air Hauler 2 sort of ends up damaging the aircraft. Thinks that we have landed not on a asphalt surface, right? So it feels like a 2-3% damage rating to the aircraft every time. So I definitely feel like we're going to be needing overhauling and repairing on these aircraft a lot sooner, considering the fields we're going to be operating in and out of most of the time. So yay. Does the 152 have IFR equipment? Seahawk, yes, have comm radios, have nav radios, VOR. I don't have a DME readout. I have a VOR. I do have an ADF and comm radios. So technically, yes, could do IFR barely. Got lighting in theory, but we'll see. I mean, I'm gonna go for VFR. I'm gonna try my best at least. Jimmy, does Airholler have any competition right now except FS Economy? As far as I'm aware, there are a few add-ons for Microsoft Flight Sim there right now that you can use. I think Airholler 2 is the only one that simulates kind of like a whole economy system, but Orbix or Parallel 42, so to speak, are coming up with the Sky Park, which I think just released or there's previews released of it. I don't know. It was on the news just a couple of days ago. So I think that would be like the closest competition to Airholler 2 at the moment, as Orbix's or Parallel 42's Sky Park. It's sort of simulating you having a career of some sorts. There's a job market where you can pick up jobs. It is more of a community thing. It is live, real time, and you're competing with each other. In that sense, to grab these jobs and fly, it doesn't restrict you as much as Airholler 2 in terms of where you can go, whether you need to base and whatnot. It's more like a freelance kind of a thing. But there's that, the Sky Park. I think there's also an add-on called NeoFly, I think. It's either NeoFly or On Air. I can't remember. Either one of those two. Those work in MSFS as well. I think one of them is free. I think that might fly. That is also a closed competition in the sense that it sort of, throws jobs at you. You pick up and do those contracts and fly from A to B, doing those contracts in a timely manner. I'm not sure about the specifics of those. I haven't tried those. But I think those are like the things that come most close in competition. Airholler 2. Technically don't need a DME. Yeah, I mean, in theory. Would be nice to have, but yeah, we don't have a DME. Kind of sucks, no G. Anyway, so yeah, that's our aircraft. For the job that we're going to be doing today, we're going to be departing out of Yankee Uniform Airfield, which is this right here, Rectory Farm. And we're going to be flying pretty much northwest straight up to Leeds. It's about a 90 nautical mile trip altogether, I think. Let me check. And see. Demon right here. All in all, it is a not mentioned A. Yeah, I think it's close to 75, somewhere between 70 and 80 nautical miles, give or take, for our flight plan route. Again, I'll go through Sky Demon to show you exactly how we're going to be flying this route, but we're going to be carrying DVDs on board, 200 pounds worth, and it's going to earn us about $1,800. And landing fees, we're going to be paying off around 500 at Leeds, and then on top of that, we're going to be paying for some fuel. So what we're going to earn is probably not going to be that much, but it is the start. We don't really have too much carrying capacity as it is on this aircraft. We're going to have 203 pounds of DVDs on board, bootleg DVDs probably. Go sell those off in Leeds. I don't know. If they has to carry it, we'll carry it. Sure, why not? Okay, so here's the aircraft. If I already have those. Okay, I have those DVDs on board now. In terms of fuel, if you look at Sky Demon, I have the fuel weight calculations right here. So we're going to be needing about 86.8 pounds dispatch minimum. I have 90 pounds on board. 170 pounds is the weight of our pilot, me. Front passengers, baggage 1 and baggage 2, basically all of those weights I've ended up just stuffing with the DVDs. We get 40 pounds in the back, 80 pounds in the front baggage holds. That's going to be just back here, really, honestly. And it's the DVDs, and then about 83 pounds on this right seat over here for balancing, really, purposes. Weight and balance is a big deal here on this bird. Actually, I realize you can't. My bad. Couldn't really see what I was talking about, but yeah, we're gonna have some DVDs back there and then some DVDs on the right seat next to us. show you. So yeah, that's what we got. We got payload wise on board. Uh, Expecting cruise somewhere up to a maximum of 2,500 feet. We'll see how that goes. We have 1 hour 51 minutes worth of fuel. Our alternate airport is going to be Doncaster Sheffield Airport. And main airport is Leeds. So if you take a look right here, the current weather situation with the rainfall, we got a little bit of IFR weather to the west, and last I checked on the thing, might have changed. There was a NOTAM for a weather warning for turbulence. Really, the area of operation might have gone off by now. This is no, this is Sky Demon. This is not part of Airhauler 2. This is a VFR and, well, IFR really, flight planning tool. It has nothing to do with flight simulator, so to speak. It's an actual tool that real pilots all over the world use for planning their VFR flights and whatnot. So I have a trial version running of this tool. Otherwise, it'll net you around £12 per month subscription to get this tool. It's a real flight planning tool, and everything, all the information you see here is pertaining to real flight. So you could, in theory, file a flight plan from here, IRL, and use this. So this is what I'm using for planning our flight, and I have planned our VFR routing, so to speak, as such, all the way to Leeds, staying out of controlled airspace wherever we can, avoiding restricted airspace as well, except when we'll get into the Class D airspace of Leeds Airport itself, control zone for that, and the HEZ for that as well, once we get closer. But again, no ATC, so to speak. We're flying offline for now. So it doesn't really matter, to be honest, but what I'm planning. So we're staying out of Doncaster's airspace, trying to avoid the Sheffield. There's a no flying restriction over Sheffield right now, because they're going to be launching Met balloons. So just basically weather balloons out of Sheffield. They don't want you to fly over the city right now. 1900 Zulu. But, of course, it's in flight sim. That is not going to happen. There's not going to be no balloons, so I'm just going to fly over that in any case, because that's not going to happen, really. So we take some liberties. So anyways, we are here right now at Rectory Farm field. It is has just a single grass runway 2103. We're going to be departing out of runway 21 most likely, given the recent wind situation. Latest weather briefing from 51 minutes ago from the closest airfield to us, Bittering. Winds 160 at 14, so winds are coming at 14 knots from the south. A few clouds at 1500, broken at 8000. QNH 1004. Temperature 9er, dew point 7, and 87%. Relative humidity. So yeah, we're going to be taking out of runway 21, flying off to the south. And I'll get more in detail regarding the briefing on how we're departing out of this airfield, because it is an interesting departure. I'll talk more about it in a bit. I'm going to take off from there, head off to the left-hand side, stay within the city limits, right, and then start heading north towards the town of Sutton-on-Trent. From Sutton-on-Trent, we're going to head towards Tuxford. From Tuxford to Thorsby Lake. From Thorsby Lake to Clown, this is your town, and Killamarsh. And from that point on, we're pretty much going to be following the M1 motorway. Just stick by the road, try to identify it, and go through these towns. Come across the M1 and the M18 Thurcroft interchange. Take a left there, stick with the M1, pretty much all the way through Sheffield, all the way north until we come across Leeds through Darton. We're going to break off from the M1 a little bit, look for the town of Dewsbury, because Dewsbury is our visual reporting point and the entry point into the control airspace of Leeds. Typically, from what I can tell, a little bit of research, reading up on the AIP and watching some videos on flying VFR into Leeds, is you pretty much report 10 minutes before entering via Dewsbury. And then typically, traffic conditions permitting, air traffic control will have you most likely landing via runway 14. From Dewsbury, they'll expect you to join the the right-hand traffic pattern. So pretty much from Dewsbury, head northish, stay on the right side of the airfield, so landing off 1-4. Right traffic pattern, just join downwind, turn base and final, and land on runway 1-4. That's what they do for most VFR traffic. If winds required landing on 3-2 instead, then of course they'll just join you on base and final and landing on 3-2. Certain Under some certain conditions, like very rarely, if traffic conditions do not permit, we'll have you either orbiting over Dewsbury or have you fly across the airfield. So from Dewsbury to Cayley to cross the 1-4 departure, all the way across to Ekup Reservoir and hold at Ekup Reservoir. Usually will not have you cross over the main city of Leeds instead, because you usually have traffic coming in landing on 3-2. So yeah, they won't have you cross it, have you cross across 1-4 and hold at Ekup Reservoir until give you some kind of a limit as to how long you're expecting to hold. But usually they're going to be accommodating, bring you in from Dewsbury and landing on 1-4, typically for most traffic. To add that, so that's plan of action in terms of how we're going to be doing it VFR. At certain points along here, weather might deteriorate, so we'll see how that goes. Weather in some of these areas not the greatest, so visibility might be dropping. We'll try to stay low and stay out of the clouds for the most part. So is the plan. And then I'll go over this a little bit more in detail on the nav map in terms of the visual reference points that we're looking out for and how we're going to be figuring out where we are as we are flying along. So, little nav map. Go. Screen it for a bit. So, yeah, we're going to be departing from the airfield, like I said. Immediately after we are airborne, make a left-hand turn, stay on this side, basically. Left traffic pattern, really. Fly on downwind and exit on the downwind, and you're flying north from there. Up the Great North Road. We can towards Sutton-on-Trent. The way we're going to be identifying Sutton-on-Trent, we got some Google Maps satellite. Some reference points to look out for. I mean, it'll be the first main town that we come across. But on the way there, we should... something I picked out that should be relatively easy to spot. I remember what it was, why I picked this point. I think it's just the town, really. We should find it relatively easily. Otherwise, there is an airstrip nearby. If we can identify that, that'll be good for us as well. Right here by the golf club. And of course, I'll have that map open on the side anyways to cheat. So I can visually see where we are. But I think this is part of what will help us identify. There's like a big storage facility. And it stands out from the terrain, being very white. And MSFS has kind of satellite imagery now, so it should help us identify it next to the A1 and identify the town. From there, we continue flying northwest towards town of... There we go, Tuxford. What helps us identify Tuxford again is this kind of a storage industrial site there, and also the Tuxford Academy. I'm hoping should be pretty well visible. So it's like a school with a nice a football field, a few tennis courts. These should be pretty visible. The runabout there from the air. I did do a few test flights, not on this route, but in MSFS, trying to work out how well it is to fly VFR. So far, I would say equipment 152 and 4 flight. Yeah, Sky Demon in my case, but basically. It is relatively doable what you see on the nav map, what you see on Google Maps imagery. If you have some of these visual reference points, if you're looking for them, you can find them pretty well. Because again, it is using satellite imagery to show the scenery below us. So that's some things we're looking for. Tuxford Academy, that will help us know. From that point on, pretty much we just continue heading west through this logistics center, head west all the way until we come across this place right here, the Thorsby Lake. Come across the town of Thorsby. Look for the lake really, and if we can, look for the town as well. This all should be very identifiable. It's like a sort of a theme park, so to speak. There's a lovely hotel and spa right there as well. Thorsby Park, cricket field, golf course. All of this should be relatively identifiable. The buildings are going to be very generic, so we might not have as good a time, but look for a very roundish building. And the main identifying feature will be the lake, because there's not too many water bodies around where we are at other than rivers or small streams here and there. So the lake, look for that. From the lake, heading to 903, fly past this industrial looking site, the Tarmac CRH company. It's, from what I can tell, it seems to be like a dig site. I'm not sure what for exactly. Sandstone, maybe. There's a very industrial site, and satellite imagery wise, it should stand out pretty well from the greenery going, big white sandy thing. So we look for that. Continue all the way further west from that towards the town of Clown. Identifying features of Clown is this weird building cluster. It's the Clown Town Amusement Park. Hopefully, it should be identifiable. That star thing right there, checkered pattern, the field next to it, baseball field, track and sports field, whatever. All of these should be relatively identifiable, so I'll look out for those. In case we really miss all of this, once you're flying over the town, the big ass thing we should notice is this Amazon fulfillment center. So I expect this to be in MSFS, one of the big ass buildings. Because when it sees big buildings like that, it'll usually make them 4 or 5 floors high, and yeah, it should be relatively identifiable big building. If you really get lost, obviously I have Little Nav map open, but those two things should be relatively identifiable from where we are at. From Clown, heading 330 to the town of Killamarsh. Killamarsh, I couldn't really figure out any features that relatively stand out. I was hoping, because at that point, I just want to come across the M1 motorway while we're heading north from Clown. And if I can identify the motorway, because at that point, from that point on, we're pretty much sticking by the motorway all the way to Leeds. So that's what I'm looking for. If not, look for the town of Killamarsh. Basically, and try to figure out where the road is from there. And then from that point on, we're just sticking with the M1 all the way till we come across this big triangular interchange. Should, in theory, see big 3 roads, big intersection between the M1 and the M19. Sorry, M1 and the M18. Change right here. From that point on, we stay left, fly left across the M1, stick over the M1 the best we can over the town. This should be the town of Sheffield. We just fly straight on through. Stick with the M1, continue heading north from there. Through Kexborough. Basically stick with the M1 until we come across Dewsbury. Again, for this part, most of this part, I'll just be looking at Little Nav map and Sky Demon, really, to figure out where we are, how far out we are from Dewsbury. But we should, relatively after Sheffield, none of the towns will be as big as Dewsbury and the rest of Leeds. So I'm expecting that to be relatively identifiable as well, because as the greenery dies out, you start to see a big town. Particularly, what's good about Dewsbury is a lot of white top buildings. And from, again, this is just relatively from experience with MSFS VFRing, where there's a lot of white tops on Google Maps imagery or Bing satellite imagery. MSFS ends up creating big buildings as well, and usually keeps the tops white as well, so that should help by it as well. From Dewsbury, pretty much We're already in visual range, should be in visual range of Leeds. We'll see how that goes. But I'm expecting to land on runway 14 as well. So it's from Dewsbury, fly towards Leeds Airport, if you can see it. If not, just pretty much heading 358 will beeline towards the airport. I will tune in the ADF as well to the Leeds NDB. 402.5 is the frequency. So that should help us identify the direction in general direction towards Leeds. Fly towards it until we have the airfield in sight, and join the right side traffic pattern for runway 14. So join pretty much on downwind, turn base final, and land on 14. Once we land at Leeds, vacating probably via Fox if we can make it, if not via Lima, and multi-flight south apron, best parking 627, somewhere around there, where we'll park up, call it a day, hopefully. All goes well. So that's plan of action, plan of attack. For the flight today, should take us about 1 hour. And see how well the weather cooperates with us going forward from. If you take a look at Airfield's information, so Rectory Farm, latest METAR nearby, is, like I said, scattered at 1,200 feet, overcast at 6,000. Temporarily for visibility 4,000, and a rain expected in the area. We'll see how that goes. If I stick to 1,000 feet, we should be able to stay clear of the clouds. Have some visibility to do the initial part until we hit Sheffield. I'm expecting most of the trouble to happen once we are close to Sheffield and the weather starts to deteriorate pretty badly from. Take a look at Leeds weather. Leeds weather broken at 1,000 feet, few clouds at 900 feet. QNH 1001, winds 150 at 1.5, and light rain as well. We'll see how that goes. I have the flight briefing package as well over here that we can go over real quick. So yeah, Sherwood Airport, I guess owner of the airfield we're going out of, Rectory Farm, is Sherwood Heritage. Is the so-called company that runs this airfield, and the owner. They require prior approval. They have the information there before they're able to fly out of the airport. And if you go to their website, have their Sherwood Heritage Rectory Farm, Everham. They have the latest weather available to us for visiting pilots. I'm gonna click that and get the latest weather from there as well. And they managed to include the Pulleys plate for the airfield for VFR pilots. So this is the airport we are flying out of, Rectory Farm, with no PDF version. So 40 feet above mean sea level, that's the elevation. Runways 21 and 03, we're going to be departing out of 21 given the latest winds. 730 meters available to us. You'll notice these arrows. Basically what they're telling us, that's the way they want us to approach this field, depending on which way you're landing, and also, the reverse. You're departing out of there, avoid the towns of Averham for noise reasons, and on top as well, Newark-on-Trent. Avoid those villages, and has that in the information below as well. Safety comm 135.48. You can see we should be monitoring, reporting our intentions on at this airfield. Strictly PPR for powered aircraft, does not facilitate helicopters. But yeah, just contact them and get your permission to fly in, basically. Operated by Adrian Hatton, Sherwood Sailplanes, Rectory Farm, Everham, New York, blah blah blah. Windsock displayed at the south end of the runway when flying is taking place. Please do not overfly the Kelheim village to the north and Averham village to the southwest. Caution, tall trees 60 feet AGL at north end of the runway, and villages within 0.5 mile of the extended center lines at each end of the runway, so don't fly over the towns, basically. All arrivals should follow the curving final approach to land long after a base leg from the east. Right base for 03, left base for 21. We're going to be using base on departure. Pretty much as soon as we're airborne, start making that left turn, don't fly the town. Get to the other side of the river. There is basically it. we shouldn't be having any reason to worry, really. Um, Final approach is to be at approximately 30 degrees offset from the runway heading and require a late turn to line up only when over the runway. Stone track crosses the runway approximately 350 meters from the north end. It's normally smooth enough to cross at landing speed if necessary. There is a stone path. Did take a quick look in Microsoft Flight Sim. There is a path, but it doesn't seem to change the texture or surface of the runway whatsoever, so it shouldn't really be an issue for us. Nice little restaurant in the town of Kellam to the north, half a mile walk away. Space required, and you can get yellow cabs, no fuel available at this airfield. That's good to know. But yeah, that's the interesting thing about the airfield, where we gotta depart out. Avoid the town. Avoid the town. Okay, yeah, that was the weather information. I'll need that real quick. Something else. The pilot briefing pack. Give me a sec. There we go. Sky Demon pilot log. So again, these are all our waypoints. Where we're going, altitudes, true airspeed we expect, and the headings I need to go from there. That I got over here, ready for my reference. Has a bunch of frequencies detailed out for us as well that we need to be monitoring. For VATSIM use, and eventually we'll do these flights on VATSIM. Frequencies is really not that useful for us because most of the time we're flying, at least I'm trying to avoid controlled airspace. So unless we're going to an airfield that has actual approach controller or lower online, usually will not be contact anyone. I don't. London Control and all those online above us usually way too busy with IFR traffic to provide us any VFR service realistically. So for the most part, if we are on VATSIM, Unicom 122.8, we'll see how that goes. This is again plan looks like vertically as well. Airspaces that we're passing through. So mostly a tailwind initially. It ends up becoming a head. No, actually, yeah, it is a tailwind all the way to Leeds. Entering the airspace of Leeds right around there. The ATZ and yeah, Class D airspace around the airport. Apart from that, for the most part, we will stay out of it. Out of any restricted airspace. Controlled airspace for the most part. Airport we're departing out of right there on 0321 Grass is the airport. What that looks like, all our alternate airport Doncaster as well. Need be, and the Leeds Bradford NDB that we're going to be using. Approach 402.5. These are just NOTAMs and weather briefings. And that's our weight and balance information. Don't really need it for flight sim. Yeah. Jepson charts for Leeds. I wanted to go over this visual reference point. So yeah, Dewsbury is where we're going to be coming in from. From Dewsbury, pretty much head straight to the NDB until we are in sight of the airfield, and then just join left pattern, turn around and land. Or that's the plan of action. Cool. Get rid of all this now. We can start the flight in Air Hauler 2. So like I said, 90 pounds of fuel is what I require. So in theory, we'll say we bought the fuel from some other airport. This airport doesn't really have fuel. The amount to load, no, I want to see the amount total on board. You have 90 pounds on board. 90 pounds on board, about $42 in fuel. It's costing us. Okay, and 200 pounds of DVDs. Boom. Okay. I'm going to fly this aircraft to Leeds. With those and the fuel on board, click OK. Sweet. We're going to be cruising 22,000 feet. Let's just say VFR. Direct, sure. Accept route and fly. So it wants me to load to the sim at Golf Yankee uniform, where we're going to load with 90 pounds of fuel, 373 pounds in payload. Sim. Side little nav map. Oops. There we go. Should be fine now. So if you look at the sim now, we should have the correct fuel and payload. So 90 pounds of fuel, as that's what we have on board. 170 pounds is the weight of the pilot. And 80 plus 40, 120 plus 83, so 203 pounds in total. That's our payload in terms of the DVDs we have on board. That gives us a total weight of 1636 pounds. Max takeoff is 1670, so we're pretty much close to max. Gonna be a heavy boy on departure, 58% in terms of fuel on board. I'm gonna click OK. That beeping sound you hear is from the nav map. It's a new feature he added. It beeps and to remind you haven't actually started the flight. There you go. Air hauler flight, start up and taxi. That's when you know you're actually connected. Okay. Now that we are in the sim, hopefully you guys can see that. Get in the aircraft. So yeah, just take a quick look around, I guess. The airfield we're at, and you can see the weather. Ceiling's not too great. In terms of the weather, I just have live weather enabled. I know it's not the most accurate in Microsoft Flight Sim, but it is what it is. We don't really have much of an option, really. Can't wait till we get active sky and stuff like that. For the most part, live weather, I haven't had too many. There are times when it just doesn't work, when they're down or whatever. For now, we'll stick with it and see however accurate it is based off of that. So stepping into the aircraft, I got my checklist here as well. This is an old actual checklist from 1976 by Air Tour. I'm not sure if it's a company or what. Air Tour checklist for Cessna 152 and 172. I bought this when I was in England last year at the what was it? The skips me. De Havilland Museum. I was there. They had these old checklist clearance, really. Bought it. Why not? Nice little like plastic cardboard checklist. So I'm going to go ahead and use that finally now. Let's actually use that. We're going to script the pre-flight stuff because I mean nothing really breaks on default planes, and go straight for the internal pre-flight checklist. Skip the external. If it was an A2A plane, I would bother actually going through this stuff. But if it's not an A2AV plane, it's gonna work. It's gonna work just fine. All right, step in the aircraft. Certificate and maintenance valid. Sure. First aid kit. Sure. Fire extinguisher. Sure. Check that back in there. Doors and harnesses closed. Parking brakes on. Trims set to neutral. Trim set to neutral. Towards the takeoff range. That looks okay. Takeoff neutral. Flaps, check all stages. You're going to turn the battery on for that. Okay. Flaps, you can see are going up there. 10, 20, and 30. Should be working. Cool. Check those back up. Turn our nav lights on. Turn the beacon lights on. Home light on so I can get a little bit inside. And we'll go ahead and turn the tank on. Prime it. or twice. Make sure full throttle crack open. Make sure parking brake set. Get out the window. Clear prop and go ahead. Start. Go out. We're in the green within 30 seconds. Oil temp should start rising here shortly. And everything looks good. Sweet. Okay, see lights on now. I will use flaps 10 for departure. Turn cabin air, cabin heat on. That. Turn our transponder on. COM radio. Radio. COM 122.8. Unicom, sure. Transponder 7000 is the VFR code. UK. For the most part, like from what I've seen, it around the airport itself, it matches the METAR relatively well. So if it says there's latest METAR says there's a cloud ceiling at 1,000 feet, I would actually see a ceiling at 1,000 feet. One thing I've noticed in live weather versus reported METARs, the METAR like actually would say something like few clouds at 1,000 feet, right? And the sim would sometimes show overcast at 1,000 feet. So like that, it doesn't read that well. What I can tell, but it may be due to the fact the way Microsoft's inbuilt engine works. My understanding is it's not depicting what it shows on the live METAR. It's using Meteo Blue's prediction AI engine, which is taking the last reported METAR, whatever they use internally, plus the TAF for the next 12 hours, and using that to come up with its own model of what it thinks the weather will be around your airport and in general in the area, and it's depicting that to you. It may not match the exact actual METAR. It's just AI's prediction of what the weather will be in the area. That's what I understood what Microsoft Flight Sim is doing. So yeah, it's good enough for that purpose, I guess. Good enough. All right, carburetor heater heat check set on cold. Radio's on. Flight instruments check. Magneto's dead cut check. I will check that in a second. Cold temperature is good. Suction is good as well. The green. Cold temps come up as well now. Okay. Altimeter I'll set right now and do a run up check as well for that. So we should be at 40 feet. Hey, Stormy. Perfect. Yes, you're not late at all. Not late at all. Okay. Should be our altimeter. Sort of. Close enough. Close enough. Okay. Flight within flight controls wise looks good. Actually go ahead and check those for realsies. See the aileron is moving there. Left and right ailerons are moving. Good. And if you take a look at the back, the rudder's moving. Elevator's moving. Flight controls look free and correct. And let's do run-up checks because we're already facing the wind pretty much. We're departing runway 21. Winds coming out of... Actually, winds are coming out of once. Let's turn a little bit. Break off. Power. Again, the reported winds are for a nearby airfield, not exactly this current airport, so not exactly sure where the winds are coming from. There's supposed to be a windsock here. It's the end of the runway. Not sure if it's actually there right now. Yeah, I don't see a windsock. This is a default airport, so there's that. I don't really see a windsock, but yeah, I'll turn heading 16 there. We'll assume the winds are coming from there. Okay, set that parking brake. Okay, run up check. Set up to 1700 RPM. All right, face aircraft into the wind, set throttle 1700, magnetos, check for a maximum 125 RPM drop, and carb heat should give a drop in RPM as well. Check left mag first. You dropped all the way down to 1600 from 1700, so that's still well within limits. Back to both. All right, let's check the right. About the same situation, looks good. Do both. And carb heat. There you go, you can see the proper RPM where the gauge we're looking at drops as we put in carb heat, so that's good. And check slow running, 600 RPM, close to idle. It's still the engine and not cut off the engine. Get the warning light come on, yes. Should not drop below 600 RPM at idle, basically. Yep, it didn't. It is above it. It looks good. Throttle back up to 1000 RPM and run up checks completed. Pre-takeoff checks. Fuel is on and sufficient. Yes. Flaps 10 required set. Trim set to takeoff. Fuse secure, sure. Primer locked. Mixture full rich. Carb air set cold. Flight instruments checked. Magnetos checked. Master switch on. Lights as required. I will turn strobe lights and pitot heat on as well. Oil pressure and temps looking okay in the green there. Suction above 3 inches mercury. Yep, in the green there. And controls free check. Doors and harness set. Up after takeoff. That's good. Actually fly out of here. Okay, so our runway is pretty much right here. Parking brake. To my left here. Seeing takeoff, yep. Right by the shed is where our runway begins. But yeah, on departure, pretty much as soon as we're airborne, make a left turn. White flying over town we see up ahead. One. The runway right now. Back towards the aircraft. Alright, cool. Let's depart. Brakes in. At full power. Temps and pressures looking okay. Transponder alt. Let's go. Winds to our left. Hey, Jaeger. Just in time. Pardon. A little bit squirrely on the rudder. Microsoft Flight Sim thing. Not the best. Way too much. Even with a little bit of rudder input. Okay, let's go. Do about 80 knots. Alright. Turn left. Avoid overflying the town. There. Did avoid it. Good. Okay, let's check flaps up. Bring her up to 1,000 feet. Because it said we have scattered clouds at 1,200, so put at 1,000 feet. Power just a hair. Go ahead and turn off landing lights. Okay, roughly flying in the correct direction. Just looking up for the next town, which I can see right there. Could be our first waypoint. Yep, can confirm at around 1,200, 1,300 we can start to lose visibility. I was just trying to see, like, I don't actually see the clouds, but you do start to lose that visibility. So it is, the live weather is sort of working. It said few clouds, or sorry, scattered clouds at 1,200. 1,000, below 1,200 are visible. Better. There you go. To get to 1,000. Cool. Life is good. Life is good. Feels good to be flying GA again, back in the UK. Back in Airholder 2. Twitch Air returns. Twitch Air lives again. Flying Golf Bravo low. Great Britain low. It's the plane we're flying today. Alright, I'm gonna get rid of head track in there. The trimmer out for 5% power. Thousand feet. So it should be coming up on Sutton-on-Trent. Or sorry, yes, Sutton-on-Trent. Down up ahead. So from here on out, we start heading to 906. Pretty much following the road still. A1. How's Hong Kong these days? Oof. As you can probably tell by my getup, quite cold. Not gonna lie. I'm pretty happy running Microsoft Flight Sim right now with my GPU. Like at 100% because it really warms up the room, you know. GPU is running at what? Like, GPUs aren't running that hot. It's 67 degrees. The rest of the PC is running at 83 degrees, so it does help to keep things warm. Otherwise, in my room without the PC running, it's like around 11 degrees Celsius right now. Outside air temperature is about 14. Maximum we hit was 17 degrees today. Not the greatest, but relatively cold for Hong Kong standards. Definitely a lot colder than it was last winter. Last winter, like, there wasn't much happening. It was relatively like 20, 21 degrees most of the time, average temperature. This winter is definitely hitting us harder. Talk to me about cold. Probably snowing for you guys, isn't it? We're supposed to get 35 centimeters of snow today. Yep. Have fun with that. I don't want to get below 500 feet. To be honest. Watch out for those wind turbines as well. We should be coming up on the town of Tuxford up ahead. Tuxford, like I said, what we're going to be looking out for is the Tuxford Academy, big ass field, a roundabout, cricket field, football field. Basically, that's what we're looking out for. On Tuxford, in the direction we're coming from, we should see it. Again, I haven't got one from the snow region, so I'm not sure if 35 is a lot or less, but you're saying it's a lot for an NYC. Magic, maximum 12 to 14. All right, global cooling, here it is. Heard it here first, folks. Right, this should be right here. There's that roundabout I was talking to you about. There's the academy. There's this field, field slash track and sports field. This is the academy roundabout. There we go. Identified. Cool. Watch out for that wind turbine though. From here we need to head 243. Trying to put some distance between me and the turbine. Big boy right there. Yeah, I gotta head 240, pretty much in that direction, give or take. And as you can probably tell, if you look in the horizon or even the ground below us, getting pushed to the right there. Drifting right. Wrong from that way. The Llama wind's currently 171 at 23 knots. 171, so yeah, pretty much from that way at 23 knots. Getting into some cloud. Try to get lower. So next up, the reference point we're looking for is the lake. Torsby Lake. And the Torsby Hall amusement park next to it. Can the 152 carry even any cargo? Depends what you call cargo. We're currently carrying DVDs, so it can carry that, that's for sure. 200 pounds of DVDs, and we're already near max tech. Full. Yeah, it can carry something. Not a great plane to be air hollering in. To be honest, carrying capacity not the greatest, but it's one of those planes that it has a non-glass cockpit, which I want to use MSFS and glass cockpit. And secondly, because air hauler 2's limitations that it cannot use airplanes that are encrypted. Only use default, like airplanes that use the old way of having an aircraft.cfg. That's what it's looking for. The 172, the non-G1000 version, is an encrypted plane, so air hauler 2 can't read it. Neither can it read my M20 from Coronado. So yeah, that's a factor for us. What year is it? These are bootleg DVDs, good sir. Clearly in high demand right now. The UK. People don't want to pay for their TV license or whatever. Don't want to get that Netflix. Want us to deliver DVDs to them. What's so cool about Donington Park, Stormy? Should one care about Donington? Weather's getting worse. Like I said, would be a sketchy VFR today. I can definitely feel the sketch. See the lake? Looks like a water body, right? Find out once we get closer. I think that's a lake. Actually, no. You know what? The lake might be... Oh, the lake's right here, right in front of our noses. Hey. Alright, so this right here should be the park. Oh, it is a racing circuit. Alright. That here. Those bootleg DVDs near the subway station nearby. I should pick one up sometime. Definitely. It's the season to pick up Home Alone, Die Hard, classics. Weather is definitely deteriorating. Yeah, this right here is amusement park, apparently. Not the greatest looking there. The lake below us. That might be a race circuit, sure. Race your tractors there. Anyways, from the lake, I'm heading to 89er, and this is where abilities. We're definitely not VFR at this point. I mean, we are in a way, but I wouldn't call it legal VFR. That I think it is. Probably a solar field based on that imagery. A lot of solar panels there. Adobe without company password. Needs Adobe, man. Lawnmower circuit, yep. Yeah, this is great. Need to descent though. Get lower. It's 10 on 10 weather. Special VFR, yep. 100%. Boat's legit VFR. Approved for Twitch Air, made by Twitch Air for Twitch Air. Do not attempt this at home, kids. Only for trained professional Twitch Air pilots. Alright, coming up on the town of Crown up ahead. And after that point, we should come up on the M1 motorway and follow that north. The Flying Lobe Span Special. Yes. Yes, Stormy, approved by Twitch Air. We are our own authority. Respect my authority. Alright, so I see a lot of white stuff ahead. That might be the industrial site we talked about earlier. Start flying. That's supposed to be sort of a dig site for possibly limestone. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe cement. But I think we can see that, and the town is should be further up from there. We're flying ETOFs without approval. Seem legit? Like real? That's fucked up. That is really messed up. Alright, yeah, I can't really make out what it is, really. I mean, from the satellite imagery, it didn't look that much better, but judging by the elevation difference that we can see in the sim here right now, definitely some sort of mining. Sandstone, limestone, I don't know. Quarry of some sort. Valley stage. You know what? That's probably what. And they have a reservoir nearby as well. Alright, the town up ahead should be our town. Our town of Crown. And what helps us identify Crown is their park as well. The Clown Park, as it's called, literally called that. Clown Park. And the thing I was saying earlier to you guys, that the way we should be able to identify the town, that big ass white building you see, that's an Amazon distribution center. This part of the UK. We saw that on satellite imagery. That I said like we should be able to identify those two things relatively easily. That the whitish quarry and that Amazon distribution center. But yeah, that helps me identify that town. And there is supposedly a castle in this town here as well. Not sure where it is. My guess would be that those things might be it. Watch out for that 1/6 turbine. The Amazon distribution. From there we'll heading 310 until now, that direction roughly. All right, yeah, this right here is the Clown Park. There you go, the tennis courts, cricket ground, and this Amazon distribution center, which would be just one building, not two, as this shows right here. Just a big warehouse, really, like a hangar type of. See all the trucks down there. That is where you get your packages. Packages, right? Let's think. 310. This I think right here we have actually identified it. So on the way to the next town, we should have been looking for the M1 motorway, but this seems pretty obvious. It's probably the M1. I could read some road signs, I would be able to tell you for sure, but probably the M1. And basically, we're just sticking road all the way to Leeds, Sheffield. This highway leads us to Leeds. So in case we lose visibility, because it seems like we will, as we get closer to Leeds, the ceiling gets lower, rains more. That'll be fun, but yeah, look for this road and follow it. Oh, it's a great day for VFR, yeah. This is lovely English weather. Day to be out on the beach. Not sure if it would be snowing right now, IRL in parts. That's another thing, like, downside of Microsoft Flight Sim at the moment. There's no seasons, so to speak. So what you end up getting is you can either like set a snow preset, but if you leave it on live weather and if it is snowing, you don't actually get snow. Even if it would be snowing right now, you wouldn't be able to tell. But when that comes, I think this will be even better. It probably will not be coming anytime soon. At least not this winter, maybe next winter. I think on the roadmap they said seasons are coming like summer 2021 or something, along with the X12. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the M1. Stick with this. Town we see up ahead should be our town next to us. Town that we were before. Anyways, we found the motorway. That was more important. Heck is this? Not labeled. Not sure what that is. The maze, probably. So yeah, according to the UK VFR guide, you are following things like grid lines, roads, or railways as VFR navigation. Always stick to the right side of it. Keeping the source navigating from on your left wing. Watch out for traffic. We are technically VFR, we should be looking out for traffic, but we're not on VATSIM and don't have AI traffic, so don't worry about that. Obstacles is a concern right now. But in theory, I should be on the scan for traffic at all times. Yeah, keep the road to our left. Follow it. Way to our destination. We should come across a big triangular interchange. That'll be the M1 M19 interchange, or the M1 M18 interchange. Sorry. Hope we will come across at some point, and at that point we're gonna turn left towards the city of Sheffield. Might be coming up on it right now, to be honest. Might be it right here. So it's like a big triangular. The road goes like to the right and to the left. Might be it. Actually, right. Yep, I think this is it. So we gotta stick with the M1, which actually goes to the left. It goes to where that big ass town of Sheffield. We follow it. My map seems to agree. Sky Demons agree as well. Alright. This is where it should start getting really sketch. There was active rain reported at Sheffield. I can sort of see that. That visibility up ahead doesn't look great. Probably rainfall happening there. As long as I keep my eyes on the road, that should lead us all the way to Leeds. Part where the M1 goes through town might get a little sketchy. We can eye on it, but try. Also, in theory, right now, where we are at, we should definitely not be. A temporary flight restriction for the town of Sheffield because they're launching weather balloons between 900 Zulu and 1500 Zulu. That which right now the TFR in place because they're launching weather balloons, but of course not happening in the sim, so ignore that. From surface all the way up to 6,000 feet. Nah, we won't get shot down. Just, I mean, if you were flying here IRL as well, first of all, you get told off like you were in contact with anyone. And if you weren't, really, the worst that happens, you get yourself tangled in and die. I mean, the main issue is not the balloon. The balloon, I think, would be relatively easy to spot. It's the fact that those balloons are like tethered, I think, normally. So that thin wire or whatever that they're attached with, probably won't be able to see that. Yeah, that's a dangerous bit. I think the highway's turning right now. Start heading north. This is like right there running through town with it. It's heading out that way, I think. M1. Oh yeah, definitely slow VFR. 100%. Right through the town. This is the Sheffield University Sports Park and the industrial park next to us. Definitely see that industrial park. Very industrial. Not following the road. I gotta follow the road. Well, they're definitely trending towards special VFR. Yep. 100%. It gets worse the further north we go. That's nice. What would be nice right now is probably for our own safety. Really do use visual contact. Tune in the ADF to the Leeds Bradford NDB. End up going. We have some guide towards it. 402.5. 402.5. I have that tuned in now. There you go. Needle points us toward Leeds. A. So in case worst comes to worst, climb to 3,000 feet, follow the needle, should lead us to Leeds. Absolute. I think this is still the highway right here, the M1. Follow that. Yep. That visibility though. Most of it's rain, really. I don't think it's particularly cloudy here, just rain. And I love that this happens now. Like if this was P3D, like the radar would be reporting rain, right, and the clouds. So it will show like rain happening right now, and the clouds would be whatever ceiling reported to be at. I don't know how high up, 3,000 feet. And it would just be like raindrops on your windshield, and that's it. The visibility, for the most part, would have been generally fine. I like the fact that, you know, the stuff. No rain effects. There are, just the speeds I'm doing it. You can see it on the windshield. I'm not sure how clearly it shows up on the stream because I am streaming it out at 720p. Because for whatever reason, streaming at higher quality for MSFS is not possible, but you can see the effects. At least it's very noticeable to me. Probably not coming out that well on stream. You can sort of see it on the windshield, like right here. You can see the raindrops. Occasional raindrops going through the prop, and I can definitely see it left side window. across. Easier when zoomed in, yeah. Again, sorry for potato stream quality, but honestly, like for Microsoft Flight Sim, we'll definitely need a dedicated hardware to capture, like capture card. That's pressing the system really. Even like 1080 30, I cannot do. 720 48, barely. I'm still getting like skip frames. I keep getting warning for it. I've skipped like 25% of the frames in the last 2 minutes. Yeah, it's not about the house burning down. It's just the dropped frames. So it's probably not a good watching experience. Not sure how smooth it is for you guys to watch right now. Hopefully good enough. It's fine. All right, cool. We're flying over based on Sky Demon, the town of Barnsley right now. And should be coming up on Dewsbury shortly. Thing to watch out for in Dewsbury is stick close over the M1, like really close. To the right of the M1, pretty much right next to Dewsbury, is Wakefield, and there is a no-fly zone there as well, because Wakefield is a police training academy, and also they have a helipad there where they launch police helos from. There's an airfield and a helipad there, but it is a no-fly zone, so we do want to avoid that, so stick close to the M1 on the right side. Don't go too far off to the right side. You definitely will end up in trouble. You need to descend as well. Now this is 100% VFR weather right now. I mean, I got the road in sight still, so worst case, still IFR technically. I follow road. No, fine. Flying past Garton soon enough. So, like, city area should end. We should see a bit of grass fields for a bit. And after that, a big ass city. Really huge ass city. That's when we know we're there. I mean, I think this is right here. This is a grassy bit. Beyond that, right there should be huge city, like pretty much should fill our entire windscreen, really. From left to right. That's the town of Leeds, and Dewsbury just a little bit on the outskirts there on the left. So VFR, alright. If you say so. Not looking spectacular up ahead, but might be serviceable. The M1 down there, with it. What are these big ass white buildings? This is the... Ooh, this is Tyson Aerospace. What do those guys make? It was something for the Tyson Aerospace. I've heard that. Something for the 787 is it? EHYSSEN, Tango Hotel Yankees, Gracias. Their facility down there. Pretty sure I've heard that name before. right, here we go. That is the big ass city I was talking about. That should be Leeds. I think they make a lot of stuff. Could be, I don't know. Seems familiar. All right. Sky Demon's warning me right now. Stay left. Because the way I'm headed, I was gonna go straight for the Bakefield port slash. What? Maybe we stick to the left side. Take that route a little bit. Probably safer than flying to the no-fly zone. Yeah, the wake pretty much to our right here. In this area, there's the airfield slash police academy. Bakefield. Don't really see it at the moment. Hard to spot it. But I think I can see Leeds Bradford Airport. Flashy lights in the distance. No, ADF's pointing. Probably not Leeds then. That'll be a different airport. They make elevator. Yes, Tyson. Yes, they make elevators in Hong Kong. It's Tyson plus some company starting with K. Cramp, something like that. Tyson Camp. Seen there's elevators here in Hong Kong. Probably a joint venture of some sort. Right, apparently it should be right here. But there's a railroad. Gonna be. Is the railroad? This is road, okay. So it should be this right here. That's the Police Academy. They have a heliport as well. That's the area you don't want to fly over. I don't really see an airfield down there. But is there a golf club? That's what you don't want to fly over. Right. Following the M1. We should be at Dewsbury shortly. Town right here should be Dewsbury. At this point, we would be getting in touch with Leeds. Actually, a little bit before this, really, by now. We would have been in touch with Leeds if we were online. And then they were online as well. We'd be in touch with them, getting contact with them, reporting inbound via Dewsbury. Request permission to join Leeds. Give us instructions. We're going to be heading towards the airport. Not in sight just as yet. And preparing to land at Leeds. Let me see if I can get Leeds weather. Ice and crop. There we go. Yep. All right. Light drizzle, scatter 1200, broken 1900, temperature 80.7, finish 1001. Right? 01. Definitely Dewsbury there. All those light rays coming through as well. Alright, so look for Leeds Airport now. I don't really have a visual of Leeds at the moment, so I'm just going to follow the yellow needle towards Leeds. So I can identify some kind of runway environment of Leeds and then try to stick to the left side of it. And then left traffic pattern for 1-4. And the traffic pattern is going to be at... $1,600 feet. 1,600 feet. 1,600. There you see Tyson Krupp. They're also one of the largest steel mills in the world. There you go. That makes sense why the name sounds familiar. They also make lots of transportation equipment. I think rail, brakes, catenaries, bus parts. All right, proper big deal then. Can't see any flashy lights for the airport or anything for the time being. 4.58 is the frequency I should be on contacting them, realistically. I can't really quite make out any airport. I'll say at 1600, the circuit altitude, follow that yellow needle, look for that airport. The airport right here. Oh, that's still the city. Might be further up ahead. Thing like that in the distance right there is the airport. It should have flashing lights and like. Although at 1600 I am in scattered clouds at 1200, so this will be pretty quick. Gonna go below 1200. I'm gonna go below the pattern altitude, so I can probably fully see where I'm going. %100% special VFR right now. We stick at 1600 feet. Still can't make out any like kind of lighting or anything regarding an airport, but just keep the yellow needle up right towards it. Eventually we should see our airport. Yeah, Leeds is a massive town, man. Look at it. We've been flying that point, previous point, all the way here, still all over Leeds, really. It's not even downtown yet. Downtown's like to the there. That's downtown Leeds. Massive city. I always thought I felt like it's like a small town. The airport we picked as like a small town airport, but nah, not at all. I would say it is at least as big as Kowloon, not more. Population density and all that wouldn't compare, but in terms of just physical size and dimensions, pretty big. Even at 1,000 feet, like getting in patches of rain and losing. I think that has to be the airport right there, right? Yeah, that is. Runway lighting. Alright, cool. Definitely way too low. Stick at 1,000 feet. Airport elevation is 600 feet, so I'm effectively 400 feet AGL right now, which is pretty damn low. Alright, got it. Check our lights on. Get closer so I can keep the airfield in sight. That tracking ain't working. Good. Always nice. Ran out of battery or something, I don't know. One 4 3 2 3-2 speed at 80 knots, and there's good old Leeds Orbix Leeds right now, ladies and gents, and with sloped runways for the first time. I mean, X-Plane got it. We didn't get sloped runway. E5 supports it, but Orbix still didn't. Throw back. Oh yeah. Back, boys. Who put that wind turbine there? Chuck a notch of flaps out. Start slowing down. Back down to 1,000 feet. Hey, here's our runway. Winds were 150 at 1.5. Pretty much headwind, really. Runway 14. Yeah. Again, the rudder is just still way too sensitive. Microsoft Flight Sim. Slight rudder and what's like upset the airplane so much. I'm like moving the rudder pedals like ever so slight. Yeah. It's just still very, very legit. Touchdowns. Alright, we're down. He's down. We vacate to the right. Welcome back to Leeds. Boys and gals. Now you can see the rain probably more as we slow down. Beautiful. ARL butter. Thanks. Prefer cheese myself, but yeah, I'll take it. Alright, let's bring it back to our ramp. Let's call it GSX 08. Remember GSX? Old days. Now this part is very unlegit also, the elevation. I mean, look at that. Pretty sure the real taxiway is not. It's bumpy and pretty sure. I mean, there's bound to be some elevation that's gonna be a lot smoother than that. So that bit's a bit unlegit, but float exactly like a brick. All right. Laps up. Stand by. Welcome back. Hometown. Heat off. Turn that off. That off. Okay, this is where we park. GA, yes. There's us. In theory, I can request ground services. That. Radio off, right. Okay, never mind. There are some ground services in MSFS, if I recall correctly, but usually they're pretty jank, so. Now, this is the part where Marshaller would be nice, figuring out where to park exactly. But I guess this is free real estate, so any area you want, really. Cares, right? Multi-flight. Hey yo, what's up? Oh wait, there is a marshaller. Huh. Is it like auto assign you parkings? Is that a thing? Is that a thing in Microsoft Flight Sim? Not entirely sure. Anyways, set that parking brake. Alright. Kill the engine. Beacon lights off. No, it's off. Brakes on. Kill the fuel. Fuel shut off. Fuel. Battery off. Hey. Home sweet home. Alright. Finish the flight up in Air Hauler 2. Get Umbertoed. Yeah, apparently. In Air Hauler 2, unload the cargo. Rid of those bootleg DVDs. Hey, drop it. Click OK. And finished that flight. 43 minutes we spent up in the air. Great programming there, Slopey. Doesn't scroll down all the way. Misinformation until you resize the window. 10 on 10. Alright. I mean, okay, I guess it does end at landing wind, right? Direction. I guess now it slows all the way down, but not always. Anyways. Alright, cool. Fuel consumption was 5 US gallons per hour. Update this value, current 8.0. I would say no, leave it at that. I always carry more fuel than I need that way. Hey, you didn't damage the plane because we landed at a proper surface. But alright, that was cool. Next job, do maybe one more flight today. Go for a shorter one because I have to plan it out stuff right now. Will be 100% VFR as well. And let's do a short leg. Good job. And I'll call it for today's stream. How much money I got? Way too much, really, to be honest. 235,000 monthly overhead currently 32,000. So I get way much monies, but probably will come in handy once I do upgrade to the Coronado M20 whenever Air Hauler 2 supports that. All right, for the time being, overview. Off it. The new jobs. All right, so we could head out to Park Airfield. Charlie Alpha Romeo Kilo. That's when you know it's a very toasted airfield. But naming convention even doesn't follow the ICAO codes. Definitely 100% grass field, middle of nowhere. Yep, it's like that too. Seems like the shortest one, to be honest. Could head out all the way Slid. That's probably the shortest flight. And the least VFR as well. Because generally that direction of flight. Weather was 10 on 10. Downloading weather data, I think. A few seconds. Start again. Start with a new flight. Rainfall. Getting that data. No rainfall data loaded. Yeah, it should populate eventually. Oh, well, it does that. We're gonna be departing out of Leeds. Sorry. Okay, and let's look for. Yep, there you go. There's the weather data that came in. Let's look for that Cark airfield. We're out here, right? How's the job even? Actually, I didn't even check. To Cark, C-A-R-K. It is fruit. 187 pounds of fruit. You know what? Why not? Take that fruit. East side seems clear. It does. East side does seem clearer. But the weather is moving? Actually, no. There's moving sort of northish toward that direction, but mainly north. But not fun. I mean, more legit VFR, but is there even jobs heading out east? Are there jobs heading east? Not really. Southeast. Want to go all the way back. So west we go. What is to XR? What is a job coming into? Narcotics. Oh yeah. Those are the good stuff. Good jobs. But no, I'll stick with fruit for the time being. I'll stick with fruit to Cark. Figure out where that is. So it is on near Flukber. Look for Flukber. Flukber. Oh, there it is. Park Grange over Sands. It is actually a proper strip. Oh wow. What? Actually an asphalt strip. Okay. Park Grange over Sands. Pilot's notes. Busy parachuting site on the weekends. Not advised. Okay during the week when not active. Cafe only open weekend. Oh, looks like we won't be getting coffee today there. Bring your own coffee. You know? Approach information. So, Park Radio 129.9er circuits for fixed wing aircraft at 1,000 feet above airfield level, AGL, I guess. Dimensions, meter by 15. What's the best weather for this place? Doesn't really have any METARs. Probably not. Boarding stations nearby. Closest probably is this thing right here. Location for the airport. Does it have METAR even? No METAR. Doesn't know. Train activity. Where's the closest weather reporting station? Seriously? Okay. Guess this. That's the closest right there. Blackpool Airport. Hello. Blackpool. A few clouds at 1400. Winds 170 at 16. Basically, yeah. Early wind. Rain. Probably landing, given that, landing on runway 24 then. Landing runway 24 then. Landing runway 24, left hand circuit. Alright, cool. More information about the field, administrative information. Got a phone number. That's it. 1548 for the sunset. Fuel prices. No. Okay. Too much information there. Yeah, I guess we're flying to Cork. Start a new route. Here we're departing from. It's landing at Kark. And alternate is gonna be GNL probably. Proper airport. Barrow Walney Island. A military field up. And let's try it. EGNL. And the information for this field. Pilot's notes. All right. Called PPR today to told it's a private airfield. They don't accept any visitors. Okay, yeah, they probably don't want to put that as an alternate. They don't like people visiting them. I mean, that big ass restriction around it probably is a clue normally. ETZ morning. Really don't know what to do there. Have Jet A fuel. Some rich person in the airport. I don't know. All right, so alternate closest proper airport. Probably Blackpool then. Blackpool is the alternate. All right. VFR route planning then. So going out via the Cayley VRP. Way out. So we depart runway 14, turn to the right on the downwind leg, make left-hand brake towards the VRP, and exit the controlled airspace through Cayley VRP to the northwest. Fly over the forest of Bolin. I don't see any airspace restrictions around here. Straight to Kark, really. Kark northwest. This to avoid gas venting. So could follow the A65 road all the way out and come in from the north. Trying to figure out, like, once you're over the forest and in this rain situation, you know, and it could be pretty easy to lose track of stuff. So following a road, I'll be safer. You know what? And also elevation wise, I think it's like a hilly area. You can tell with the yellow and orange. More hilly. Like by the road, probably. Oh, the A65 actually. This. Remove this one. Nope, didn't mean to do that. Oops. Houstwick. Kirkby. And then Grange over Sand. Milton Thrope. Bring it over to the airport to bring us straight in for runway 24 by the looks of it. That'll be nice. Visual references pretty much from Cayley. And probably pick up the airway at the road at Cayley, A629 instead. Towards Skipton. Yep, follow that road pretty much until we hit the coastline. There's a river going through Kirkby, so that'll help us identify that thing. Milton Thrope. Oh, fancy about that. Range over Sands, just the marshland. You know, when you hit it, I guess large bodies of water. These like Leighton Hall and these kind of little points of interest really not there yet in Microsoft Flight Sim. When the UK update comes, they probably will drop some of these in. I'm not sure how many of them. Like Orbix True Earth probably has these detailed a lot more than default him does, but that looks like a decent plan. IMO should be okay. Should be okay. Your leg is planned at 2,500 feet, which is below the MSA of 2,800 feet. It's fine. It's fine. Below MSA. Problem. No problem. So we need 75 pounds of fuel on board. 25. I'll go with 80 pounds. 170 pounds. And the baggage and stuff on board, that depends on how much fruits we're carrying. That's 187 pounds in total. 187, so 40 there, 80 there. That's 120. 7 in the front passenger seat. Still within limits, so this looks good. That looks great. It is, yeah. It's Sky Demon. It is a paid subscription, 12 pounds per month, or 120 pounds per year. Sky Demon is an actual tool for VFR flight planning and all that stuff. Used IRL, you can actually, I mean, it's for IRL, it's not really for the sim. And all of what I'm doing here, in theory, I could do in a lab map as well. The lab map can be airspace, stuff like that as well, and out based on your altitude. So in theory, I could plan this flight out on the lab map entirely, just right click and add, waypoints. But this actually uses the VFR chart, so to speak, as its base. If I could do that on the lab map, that'd be set. Unfortunately, I haven't. Prefer to do it this way. Anyways, yeah, that looks good. Breakdown looks good, so I'll set that in the flight sim as well. And we plan the flight. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and save this. Save it for a little lab map as well. Import it to the lab map. Where did I save it? Hello? Oh wait, I saved it in the wrong format. Save as. I need to save it as a Garmin flight plan. The nav map can read those. Yep, there you go. Pops up there. All right. This is what it looks like, but for whatever reason, it ends at Blackpool. That's our alternate. So, end at Carc 7 instead. Sweet. So we that already saved it here, so I should be able to load it up on my tablet as well. Right there. And now I'm just gonna load this up into Flight Sim as well. So to do that, and for you guys, right? Good. Payload. So fuel required 80 pounds on board. And the total value right there. £80. There we go. Pilot 170 pounds. Like I said, the passenger seat, we're going to put 27 pounds of fruit there. Fruit there. 80 pounds in the baggage hold at the back and 40 pounds in the rear baggage hold. Gives us our total of 147 pounds of fruit. All right, and the fuel, and gives us takeoff weight of 156. Look in here. 169 pounds. Perfect. Now back to air hauler 2 and start the flight. Okay, pick up this job. Accept job. This. Fly it now. In our 152 from Leeds. Load on board, and 80 pounds of fuel is what we'll have on board. All right, $7.11 of fuel. 7.11. Also nice. All right, 2,000 feet. Quotes VFR. Accept route and fly. And I already have the fuel and payload selected in Microsoft Flight Sim, so we can go ahead and click OK now. Have it connect. Yep. Sweet. It's connected. B is in business. Welcome to air hauler flight. Startup and taxis. There you go. Should be good. Going through the briefing package for departures out of Leeds. Circuit-based departures, taxi instructions. Departures to the east or north shall, when cleared, pass the runway track to the relevant VRP, and make sure a departure track does not overfly parked or taxiing aircraft. Yeah, immediately as soon as we're airborne, make a right-hand turn, go toward the VRP. Pretty much is what it says. All right. Do not fly above 2,500 feet within the controlled zone. That's flying IFR. All right. Variable circuit direction and force. Wearing of high visibility clothing is mandatory for all personnel on airside. Pilots are reminded to do not cross the red stop bars unless given instructions by ATC. Warning: bird activity noted in the aerodrome. Expect wind shear and turbulence when surface wind between 190 and 280. Current surface winds are 153. Not within that range, so I don't expect wind shear. Paragliding operations take place at Tong. That's to the southwest of the airport. Not really an issue for us. Nordo aircraft prohibited. Pilots of VFR, special VFR aircraft are to book out by telephone directly from ATC. Yeah, sure. We call them. All right. So we should be able to, I mean, honestly, I don't feel the need to backtrack the runway. So we should be able to enter the runway at Foxtrot, depart runway 14 at Foxtrot. Preferential runway, it is saying is 14 for landings and 32 for takeoff. What is the maximum tailwind component for a Cessna 150? Actually. Should be like 11, 12 knots, probably not more. I mean, there's a maximum crosswind. How much tailwind can we realistically have in a 152? Like, what is max demonstrated? I'm trying to look it up right now. Because in theory, I could depart 3-2, the preferential system. That puts us directly in the direction of flight. We have a 15 knot tailwind, is it? Departure. Don't think runway length will be an issue for us. Anything by quick Google search? So you know what? We'll stick with 1-4. we'll go with departure out of 1-4. All right. To the sim. Let's actually fly out of here. Air hauler 2 is connected. Everything's set. We have our clearances. And let's go ahead. Start up by start battery master. Alternator, turn that dome light on. Turn nav light on. Turn beacon light on. Sure, full in. Throttle open a little bit. Fuel on. Prime the engine. Fuel pump to turn on. Our LED is off. Get out the window. Clear prop. And out. Pressure rises immediately in the green. Oil temp should start rising. Sweet. Taxi light on. Cabin air, cabin heat. And ADF. Com radio. Leave it on Unicom. Sure. Alright, cool. I'm not going to do another run up because we just flew in. We know everything's working fine in theory, right? So skip the run up. Just taxi out straight the runway. Brakes release. Sure, trim is neutral. Let's fly. Neutral now. At 1,000 RPM. Flaps 10 for departure. We'll taxi out. At some point, I will start doing these flights on VATSIM and Microsoft Flight Sim. Well, probably when we have like proper model matching, which should be soon enough based on reviews I've seen. Eventually, I will get on VATSIM. If our flights on VATSIM and if ATC is there, speak to them as well. Otherwise, mostly probably will be on Unicom. Alrighty. Oh yeah. It really does. This kind of stuff really is perfect. Alright, so entering the runway, landing lights on, lights on. It'd be nice if my head tracker was working. Ran out of battery. Stuff looks clear. Right, looks clear. Enter the runway. And look at that, slope taxiways. We're actually climbing up onto the runway. How cool is that? It also means you can't move with a lot of power. Brake in, add a lot of power. Brakes. Hey. Get rid of that power because as soon as we're out of the slope, it's accelerating like crazy. Nice. Alright, no need to backtrack. Line up 1-4 and take off. Okay. Transponder alt. Squawk 7000. Make sure lights are all good. Temperature and oil temp is green. Pressure out. Yep, everything looks good. Hit B key one more time just to make sure we're aligned on the altimeter. Well, let's depart. So depart, make a right-hand turn towards daily VRP pretty much. We'll fly a circuit to the right and exit towards the VRP after that. And we're climbing up to 2,000 feet, preferably. We'll see how the weather's doing up there. Most likely, Probably not going to get above 1200. Got power set. Again, a bit too scrolly on the rudder there. Those MSFS things. Knots in theory I can rotate. I'll try to get way more airspeed before we get airborne. 80, let's go. Wind suck, okay, wind slightly from our right there, a little bit. Up to 1,000. Alright, there we go. That flap up. 80% power, pull back on the mixture a little bit. I probably can't get too much higher than 1,000. Already starting to get a little bit into the clouds here. Past. That's the end of the runway, right? Yep. That right-hand turn. Alright, goodbye leads. See you later. Oh, 1500 now, no clouds. Interesting. But up ahead, probably not the same story. Alright, let's avoid those turbines, head to the left of them. But I want to head out in that valley, essentially, at this point. Okay, fly west, northwest-ish. Actually, direct west. Close to direct west. Yep, Mary VFR again. Definitely don't go this high. The VRP that we're supposed to go towards is another outskirt of town in the valleys. Probably that direction. Emissions rising. I'm gonna go head off that way. Probably our VRP. Also, there's less clouds that way, so head that way. Also looks prettier. Now, this is something I found out the other day. Apparently, based on messages on the Discord, is Microsoft Flight Sim like actually simulates eclipses. There was a solar eclipse a couple of days back. Some people managed to catch that on their sims. Interesting. Really nice to see that kind of stuff finally. But god damn. Yeah. If you on the Reddit Flight Sim Discord, you just search for eclipse, you'll probably see some screenshots from evidence. Also, Aviation 365, Aviator 6365. Those are the two guys who posted. Actually, eclipses, which is pretty cool. Pretty damn cool. Also, I love that effect, like get where it's distorted. There's clouds in the way or a rain, whatever. Love that effect. those off. Veto heat on. Speaking of solar system, there's some Jupiter-Saturn convergence on the 21st. Nice. Nice. Do you actually spot those, Stormy? Like, you got a telescope and actually try to look for those things? I used to. Younger. Some damn reason. I mean, probably because my dad bought me into it. But it wasn't powerful enough to see anything meaningful. That's when the final battle between good and evil starts. When Trump will fall free from children. Yeah, no, that's not happening. But, considering it's 2020, can't completely discount it. Anything's possible. At this point, anything's possible. Speaking of anything's possible, a terrible end to the year for a few people. In particular, don't want to climb up above 2,500. In particular, Mitsubishi Aerospace employees. The company just laid out plans that they're going to be firing 95% of the workforce. Back in October, they cut funding completely for the MRJ project, the EastJet, G-Regional, whatever you want to call it. And now they announced that 95% of the workforce will be laid off in the coming months. A big oof moment. 100%. Not going to be enjoying Christmas very much right now. I mean, even if they knew, probably could have held on to the news until after Christmas. Then again, it is Japan, so I'm not sure. Christmas really that big a deal there? I don't know. R.I.P. man. That jet may never see the day of light. And it's already been delayed for a long, long, long time. And Mitsubishi is probably bleeding money now because not only have this own jet that we're going to try to push out, they own Bombardier's PRJ line. Yeah. Whatever that is. And I think the main reason they bought that was to do with mainly the support infrastructure and facilities. Couldn't get the information, so they just bought that information, so to speak. So when they did launch the MRJ, especially in the US and North America, they could probably use the RJ lines and supplement, the MRJ at some point. That's probably what the plan was. But at this point, really, I don't know. Will they sell again? This I think is the ERP. Small town of Cayley. It's a beautiful place, not gonna lie. Roundabouts for days. Anyways, this is the road I think I need to follow. I think so, yeah. This right here is the motorway. That's our companion for the next few minutes till we get to our destination. Back to IFR, IFR roads. Are they related to the Icon and the MU2? Different part of the corp. Honestly, probably part of the bigger umbrella. I'm not 100% sure. Like Mitsubishi Industries probably part of that, but how Mitsubishi Aviation, how much of that itself is in control of the RJ and all that, I'm not sure, but probably would make sense if they are related to something. Shocked. It turned out to be the case. Yeah, you and I know that much, Stormy. KFC dinners are a really big thing in Japan. It's kind of funny. I mean, 100%, that was a very successful advertising campaign that pushed for that. Became a tradition. rainfall here. Probably a good idea to stick by the roads, and the roads are sort of in the valley. I doubt that I'm flying in towards hills and ports. Hear the pitter patter of the rain. Windshield right now. If I go an external cam, I can hear the wind. Not sure how well you can hear it on the stream, but I can definitely hear. There's the road going that way, alright. Really thins out this motorway. Unlike from being a 6-lane to probably a 4-lane to each either way. Maybe even single lane, really. Might be a 2-laner this part. Run right through the town? No, to the left of it. Alright. Stick with it. Yep. Visibility definitely not the greatest in these parts. Raining a lot. But so far, haven't encountered icing. Temperatures are still above 0, and you will definitely 100% notice when there's icing in this sim. Effect is exaggerated as all hell. Become a freaking popsicle almost instantly. But yeah, so far no icing. Where are we passing over? This is the Nifany Farm Caravan and Camping Grounds. Why would you? Yes. Why would you camp here? I mean, the view is nice, I get. Maybe. Cool valley. I don't know. I'm trying to look for like if there's any particular reason. Like if we have a really decent view or something. If I'm gonna camp, I would probably camp on top of the hill instead, so you can have a decent to the valley, not in the valley itself. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going off the losing the roadway there. Off in the wrong direction. Back towards the roadway. Not sure if I just captured a lot of birds here or it's a really patchy ground. Or it could be sheep actually. You know what? It could be a field of sheep. A lot of sheep. There's that roadway again. Back into the rain we go. Which way the road goes, nobody knows. This, I think. Going that way. Oh wait, that's the river. What's going this way? Okay. I mean, yeah, I want to go generally northwesterly direction, so stick with that. Keep heading northwest in general, in case we lose sight. Country roads, definitely. All over the place, really. Now where is it going? Like all the way left. Doesn't seem to be coming around, so to the road and left. Elevation's coming up as well. This fancy place. This is the Coniston. That's it. Coniston Spa. Spa in there. Probably hotel. The Crooklands Holiday Cottage is coming up ahead. That's definitely a farm. 100% farm. Bunch of sheep as well. A lot of sheep. And yeah, that single hut right there. Holiday Cottage. Just around. 10 on 10 on 10 out of 10 on Airbnb. Actually, I'm not sure. Airbnb. They use for ratings. A 10 even. 5 stars. I don't know. I have completely lost my road right below me. And that's a railroad. There's my country road. Still right below me. Right here, yep. Nope. Yep, just cuts right through a town. Right, sweet. Careful, we might end up in Ireland. Nah, we're gonna be pretty far from Ireland. High chance of us ending up in Scotland, though. That's through town right there. Nice. The lovely town of Long Preston. More sheep-filled fields. Really make out the sheep on the satellite imagery, apparently. Like white blotches everywhere. Like not these big things. These look like possibly stacks of hay, maybe. Those whites there, yeah. Sheep. Could be cows as well, I honestly don't know. Typically in the UK, they herd sheep. Yeah, it could be cows. Like they're mostly all white though. I don't know. How curvy this road is. Going around the farm. Railroad running right next to it as well. Yeah, and again, I didn't spend too much time into planning this. I just picked a road and we're following it. So there's that. Previous leg, I actually went through more towns that we went across up on the M1 and picking out some points of reference, but I did that because I did it before stream and planning. Once I do on stream, I'm probably not going to spend too much time figuring that out and just fly. Alright, we got another quarry off to our right, maybe. Welcome to Giggleswick. Town of Giggleswick right there. And doesn't look very natural. Probably a quarry, really. Not labeled or anything at all. Giggleswick South Crags. What is a crags? C-R-A-G-S. Is it a name or a crag? Steep or rugged cliff or rock face. Okay. I mean, they're not wrong. It is a crag. Very craggy crag. Down definitely, and things are becoming hazy at best. Gonna lose sight of the ground very quickly. Keep that road in sights. Get lower. Down to 1,000 feet. Alright, this is the town of Austwick. Show us. Nothing too descriptive about these places, Frank. Climbing spots are also called crags, probably more of a the original meaning. Probably, yes. First time coming across the word for myself. How we know? Or you know. Still have no idea why we're flying a bunch of fruit from this place to whatever that place is that we're going to. CRAK. Need to figure out more, like why does that air feel like? What is there? We'll Google once we land there. And why do they need fruit? One of the many mysteries of life. More field of sheep. Farms and sheeps. Definitely in the farmland territory right now. Sheep herding's big up here. I don't know, they do it for fun or business up in here. Could be huge mutton factories there for all I know, but plenty of sheep. Also, isn't Microsoft Flight Sim supposed to have animals? Now, wouldn't that be nice if it actually populated sheep in the area? I think it only does so at certain points of interest. They not random. They actually like typically placed animals, those locations that points of interest. You can usually see those on the map, but that would be nice when like just naturally spawning wildlife. Yet another thing to kill your frames, but stuff like this, come across a field of sheep, and actually is a field filled with sheep, or even like at airfields. Really, gotta watch out so you don't hit animals. That can happen from time to time. They'll probably be very broken. Like you'll just come across an animal every freaking time, but it'd be fun. Could be quite fun. Also bird strikes, you know? So in Orbix, Open LC and whatnot, all of these areas normally golf course. Fields of golf course. Microsoft Flight Sim, fields of sheep. You can see, look. 100% all sheep there. Not sure what happened there though. Sheep explosion or something. Sorry, said something in chat. 21 spots manually populated with a group of 1 of 7 species. Yeah, not the greatest. Field of bloody penguins. I'm not gonna lie, that would be pretty sweet actually also. Random field of penguins, the UK. Like sure it glitches, but it just adds to the mystery. What is this? Orbix Squirrel Flow rebooted. Yes! Squirrel Flow rebooted, yes, that's what we need. Just so they can put the flamingos trailer. Right, yeah. Probably happen. Be cool, man. Would be cool. We need more of that stuff. Definitely way too low now. Way too low. Hong Kong Observatory, cold weather warning was issued at 10 p.m. No shit. Cold all day. Issuing cold. My phone is chilled. Like, feels like picking up an ice cube right now. That's how cold my phone is. My hands are relatively warm because I got the PC exhaust right here next to it. Cold weather warning has been issued for Hong Kong by Hong Kong Observatory at 10 p.m. Cold weather is expected in Hong Kong in the morning tomorrow. Minimum temperatures in the urban areas will be around 12 degrees, and in the new territories down to 6 degrees, which is where I'm at. The new territory is pretty cold. People are advised to put on warm clothes and ensure adequate indoor ventilation. Also, holy shit, I just... Storm? Where my road at? There's my road at. Straight into the town. Alright. Going into the town. If you know of any elderly persons or patients with chronic medical conditions staying alone, please call or visit them occasionally and check on them. Make sure heaters are safe before use. Do not light fires indoors as a means to keep warm. Solid advice. Patched by the Hong Kong Observatory. Cool. 6 degrees Celsius. That is correct. That is definitely way too cold for Hong Kong. It doesn't get normally. Like at certain points, yeah, if you're standing on top of Lion Rock at the peak or on top of Lantau Island, it can get cold. You know, the elevation does that. Highest point you can get to in Hong Kong is like somewhere around 2,000 feet. Crazy. But generally out here, yeah, no. It is cold, man. That's why I'm wearing my beanie, get my leather jacket on it. Need gloves at some point. Not used to this. I wasn't built for this. That being said, overall, in general, prefer cold weather to warm weather any given day. Like anything above 20 degrees is definitely hot. I sweat a lot. Humidity in particular, but like somewhere between, I would say 15 to 20, perfect. No, I couldn't ask for more. Well, when it starts at 5. Yeah. So like 6 degrees right now would be like shorts weather for use. It's about 6 degrees here right now and nobody warned me. The government don't care for you, man. My government cares. I mean, 6 degrees is abnormal weather. That's why we get a warning. Warnings only come for abnormal weather. So yeah. Am I supposed to know what to do? That is a fair point, man. That is a fair point. Okay. Look at that. Can you see those God rays? We actually cleared the weather for once. Holy shit. Look at that. Ain't that beautiful? Chat. This is why I love the flight sim. So I can make out the sea out there. So you know what? Probably getting close. I've grown a lot more sensitive to cold recently, but 60 degrees definitely used shorts weather for me. I would say as I'm getting older, definitely start feeling colder. A lot more now, I would say. Sooner. Or in this kind of weather, like, I don't think I would feel as cold 10 years ago. Maybe just because I was stupid, but now I do. Alrighty, we are at a mighty intersection. Came across the big motorway, so to speak, the M6. This is that point where we break out and head left towards the sea, really. I can already make out the sea. That's good. Point where it was supposed to happen, and now we're flying towards our destination. Shouldn't be too far from here. Not sure about spotting it, though. Don't think it has any lighting at the airport, so spotting it will definitely be fun, but head towards it. Eventually we will come across it. Should be like, so this is the marshy area, should be like somewhere here. Here. Find the direction towards us. Probably in your case, yeah, I've definitely gained few, though. I can't blame weight for that. Definitely chubbier now than before. So are we actually getting those kind of clouds you see on pictures normally? Never actually seen that in a flight sim. Like what I would call well, like wave of clouds, curvy clouds. Ripple clouds even. Look at that. That beautiful. This is stock live weather, no weather add-ons or anything. And this is high, not even ultra. The ultra kills my performance pretty hard, but I can't imagine how it looks in ultra. All right, welcome to the seaside. Yeah, there should be like an island somewhere at the edge of this, and it's for the island airfield. So fly off in the direction and see what we can find. Another quarry? Maybe. Nope, just the sand side. Tarmac, sand side, quarry, and asphalt. Very bad. Asphalt. Town is Storth. What's called Storth. Power bank. Arnside up ahead. Arnside. Airfield should be up front there. So runways 06 and 24. 6 and 24. The way we're heading, we're pretty much parallel direction-wise with the runway, so. And it is paved, so it should be easy to spot relatively compared to the field we took off from. Grass field, so be able to see it. No lighting there. That is sheep. That is a lot of sheep. I somehow doubt. Could be, actually. Little sheep. Be rocks too, you know. Yeah, the other thing Microsoft Flight Sim, they probably can improve water masking. If you look at a little nav map right now, look how marshy it is. And sandy, marshy. So like over here, yeah, sure, the water's brown as opposed to, but something they can improve on. But expect it to be a little bit more visible, I guess. The marshy texture of it. That is all around us. Freaking beautiful. Okay, airport should be somewhere around here. And it's not like there's no variation actually in the water, because if you look in the sunlight, you can sort of see it, but I'm not sure if those are just cloud shadows. There's variation in the water. I'm trying to show variation in the depth or something. Make sure. It's somewhat from afar, but your cloud reflections and or already sure. Seems like we've made it into like a nice hole new weather system, sort of. Nice pocket of good. Look at that around us, like rainfall everywhere. This area is pretty good for the time being. Alright, airfield should be up. That was easy. That's our airport. Has to be, right? Looks like it has, or at some point it probably had 3 runways, only one remains. Old RAF base or something. Freaking pretty indeed. You're only seeing it at like 720p stream. Got in front of me on a 42-inch monitor, 4K. Well, less than 4K. Rendering resolution's at 80%. Get more frames. Still, it's like freaking good. Yeah, one of those old RAF. The old ones are in a slight state of disrepair, I could say. Yeah, definitely. Is our AF base. Why is that one runway strip maintained for that town there? I guess maybe. I don't think they get commercial service here. At least I don't. General GA. You can see where the hangars used to be. Aircraft probably. Imagine a lot of people living in these areas, families, lakes, are going to be, back in the day, really families of the men who service these, right? I don't know. Definitely an interesting place. Definitely once we land, ask the locals, aka Google, what this place is all about. Go boating in that lake. See some, yeah. Nice place. Is it like a holiday resort-ish area kind right now? Nice. Line ourselves up along the coast for runway 24 landing now. Did not fly any standard pattern entry whatsoever. At all. Flying overhead, enjoying the view. Let's go deliver our fruit to the people. Come down to 500 feet, I'll turn back around. Actually, don't even know what the local QNH is. This is where you would call up Scottish flight information, probably at this place. Not sure if Scottish or London would be charged still by us to get QNH, but let's hit the B key. Done that. It's coming up on 500 around. Speed target 80 knots though. Back angle. Turned a little bit too early. Pressure is looking good. Mixture full rich. Landing lights on. And speed 60 knots for touchdown. We aim for. Coming in hot. Sure. Yeah, not a huge fan of the ground handling. In general, Microsoft Flight Sim so far. Early as hell, but hey, welcome. Alright. I don't think there's any parkings, but I'll go to one of the huts. The huts areas, I guess. There are some parking apparently. fueling station there. Okay, cool. All right, take care, C. Let's be parking up around here and calling it for the stream as well. And look, yeah, so like, it seems to auto assign you some parking, right? You can put a perch there, presumably for me, so we'll go park there. Him is the airport terminal. Auto assigns you. Right? Sure about that? Where the heck's the gate center line? Or is it just doing this based on my heading? I think that's what it's doing. It doesn't actually know where the center line is, just based on my heading. Has to be. Seems like it, yeah. Based on my heading. Okay, anyways. Kinda low. Kinda lulls. Are we parking the grass, apparently? But I mind, to be honest. Alright, anyways. Beacons off, pitot heat off, dome light off. Close those. Turn off the fuel and battery alternator. Oops. Alright. Everything's off. Wish you could open doors in default aircraft, but apparently you can't. That was the R2 model for Sobo. Alright, let's finish up this flight. Call it a day for today's stream. Fruitful, I would say. Not very legit, but definitely fun. 100%. Unload our fruit. Job complete. Finish flight monitoring, yes. 43 minutes on this flight. 5 minutes shorter than the previous leg. Flight flight monitoring. Don't update fuel consumption. Hey, this ain't P3D anymore, man. I'm allowed to have fun. This is a game after all. It won the award, okay? Video game awards. Definitely a game. Fun is allowed now. Fun is back. Fun is mainstream again. Anyways, probably really didn't make that much money all of today. When I took off, I had 234,000. Well, when we started today's stream, ending at 236,000. So we made 2,000 bucks all in all together. Which, I mean, I guess maybe isn't that bad. $1,000 in a day. You know. But we had fun flying, so 100% that. We didn't damage the plane anymore, which is good. Because both the runways we landed at were paved. Unpaved runways damages the aircraft a lot in air hauler too, no matter how good your landing is. Apparently, 3 to 4% landing, and I move. So when we hit up more grass fields, probably that's happen. And next job is buy some magazines up north. What's this? That Kirkbride Airfield. Wigton. Kirkbride Airfield. You know what? That's what we'll do tomorrow. We'll fly magazines, and I'll probably, instead of cutting straight through the forest, fly along the coast. Fly VFR along the coast into Kirkbride. Why not? Do that for tomorrow's stream. Fly the magazines. Cool. All right, so let's place called again. Sorry. All those buildings we saw were the Hayen Lakeland Leisure Park. The Papa John's here. Nice. And a swimming pool. Oh man. Swimming pool, what looks like mini golf. And a bunch of people laying out in the sun. Yeah, this is gonna be a good place. Yeah, it's probably like a holiday resort kind of. I think these are like, yeah, holiday homes. Probably. You can just rent out for the weekend. Something. A lot of people visit in the summer. So that's what this is for. I guess you can fly in on your little GA plane if you have one. Come and enjoy the festivities here. There's a trailer park, a caravan park, and then skydive. That's what one of the why this airfield gets used. Go skydiving up. Huh. Adventure Stag, Hollywell Lane Car Park, Humphrey Head Outdoor Education Center. Yeah, it's probably holiday place. All right, cool. So I guess they were out of fruit or something. We got some fruit for this right here. Flying in your private plane just to live in a caravan. I mean, yeah, unless you want to make your plane a caravan. Fly a C208 caravan that way, but I mean, I don't know. The British do it. Although you can probably fly in anywhere from Europe, honest. I mean, the world really. Flutter around, come join the festivities. Like, to be honest, like, it really doesn't look like that place. Spend Christmas, you know? By the seaside, it's probably a little bit windy, rainy, but the views look, at least from up in the air. Probably not a bad place, yeah. Probably not a bad place. Anyways, that'll be it for today's stream, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. I did. Air Hauler 2, we're back. I'm going to be sticking with it. Streaming more often with it as well. And yeah, we're going to fly, for the time being, the 152 until at some point Slopey, the developer of this thing, figures out how to use encrypted aircraft, and at that point we'll probably upgrade to the Coronado M20, whatever aircraft that come out eventually. But the M20 is definitely one of those aircraft I want to be Air Hauler 2, but for the time being we'll stick to the 152, sorry. Flying in the small amounts of whatever we have been. But yeah, tomorrow we'll fly from Cork to that other place I just mentioned, Kirkbride. Fly some magazines. I'll see you all in the next stream. And we'll try to do it more legit tomorrow if we can, but we'll see how the weather situation looks. But overall, nice, decent trip there from Midlands to Leeds, and then west all the way to the airport there. Cool. Anyways, yep. That's all, folks. See you later. Bye.